What is going on, everybody? This is Ricky, aka GlizmoGaming, and today I have a very special video for y'all. I am going to be starting a new series on this channel.
Hey guys, quick editor's note. Forgot to add this to the video. I need to whore myself out for a second. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and also go ahead and hit the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload. Thanks. Back to the video.
Now, this series is going to entail me playing old games and reviewing old games and trying to actually play through some of my library that I would never touch ever. I collect a lot of stuff, but collectors usually don't play all the stuff they own. Now, the first game that I'm going to be starting out with this series is probably one of my all-time favorite games ever. Maybe I can get a little drum roll. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater for the PS1. Now, it's hard as hell to do any research on this game. I've learned since the new game came out, the remake, everybody's only talking about that. Even me trying to look up certain things about it was almost impossible. But a little bit about the game. It was released on September 29th, 1999 for the PS1 and a multitude of consoles all the way up to the Game Boy Color. In the month of November, it was the third most sold game for the PS1. It sold up to 350,000 units between September and December of 1999. It's nuts to hear games sell that much. I know it sounds like a smaller number nowadays, but back then it was a huge number. It was promoted everywhere. Even Pizza Hut had some kind of promotional disc they would give along with the with some of their customers. They would give a demo disc of the game, which is actually really cool. I'd love to get my hands on one. Now, personally, I think this game is amazing. I played all of it. It's a great game. It's aged like rotten cheese, though, because the controls and everything about it's ass. That's why I recommend you go playing the new game if you've never played any of them. But seeing it brought back a lot of memories, especially playing through all the levels, which you can go see on my second channel if you want to go check all that out. Now, I'm done talking. Let's go dust off the PS1 and start it up.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater was a game that revolutionized the way we played skateboarding games. It was definitely not the first, but it definitely was one of the best. It had two great modes. One was called Career Mode and 2-Player, and that's the ones we're going to focus on today. 2-Player was a game that you could play with your friends. In 2-Player, you had three options of games: Graffiti, Trick Attack, and Horse. Graffiti was super simple. You would skate around the map, do tricks on objects, and each object you did a trick on would change to the color of your team. If you wanted to change that object to your team after somebody had already taken it, you have to do a trick that had a higher combo than the original trick that was performed on it. Super simple game, but it was a great way to try to piss off the other guy by taking all of his stuff, and that was what I always did in it. Trick Attack was super basic. You had 2 minutes to skate around the map, any map that you chose, and do as many tricks and get a higher score than the person you were playing against. Person with the highest score wins. Horse, this is one of my favorite ones because it is actually a game of skate, not the real skate where you do a trick and they have to match your trick. It's a game of skate where you start out and you have 10 seconds to do a trick with a higher combo than the person that goes after you, or vice versa. Once the score is set, the next person goes and has to beat that score. If he doesn't get that score, he gets a letter. My favorite part about it is the fact that you can pick any word you want, just as the one I have chose here, because I'm 5 years old. So now that we got 2-Player out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and knock out Career Mode. Now this is the meat and potatoes. This is what everybody played. This is what everybody remembers. And this is what everybody is going to be watching the video for that wants to get a recap of all this stuff. And if you haven't seen it before, maybe you've seen it on the new game. Either way, you'll still know what I'm talking about. So in each level, there are 5 tapes. There's one specific tape to each level. It could be like in the first warehouse, you have to knock over boxes. In Downhill Jam, you have to knock over, you have to break valves off, stuff like that. So it's something that is specific to that individual level. The next thing is a secret tape that's hidden throughout somewhere in the level. Could be through the iconic window over the ramp in Warehouse. I'm going to keep using Warehouse because it's my favorite one. Another tape is going to be Spell Skate. You have to go around the map and find each letter to spell skate, S-K-A-T-E. Once you find all those letters, you'll get that tape. And then the last 2 tapes are score-related tapes. It could be to score 10,000 points, and then it could be to score like 15,000 points in the next. It just depends on which level you are as what the score is going to be. The further level in, the higher the score is. As simple as that. All right, the other thing that this has is also it has 3 competitions. The skate park in Chicago, Burnside, Portland, and Roswell, New Mexico. The way the competition works is you're in 3 heats, and you have to score a high enough score to get a medal in it in at least 2 of the 3 heats. I personally hate these with this layout of controller in this game. The newer ones are way better to play because there's all these kind of things you can do. You can manual, you can revert, you can do all kind of combos to make it last way longer than what you can do in this game. Like I said, I personally didn't like these, and I still don't like them. I did learn a little bit of a trick in Roswell. That was the one I was having the most trouble with. But I definitely won't be coming back to this game to play these anytime soon. Going back to the career regular levels, I'm gonna talk about some of my favorites and then my least favorites. So in third place for me, as my favorite level, is school. This level was probably one of my favorites as far as like aesthetics. It actually reminded me of being in school. This is what schools look like in shows and stuff back in this time period. It was just really cool to see. I still remember the dude that's graffitied on the wall. And I just really love the way that the secret tape, you have to take the awning all the way down and shoot up and catch it midair. Moving on to Mall, that's my second favorite map. Mall was probably the coolest in my eyes, as far as Tony Hawk always loved downhill jam. He liked the way that you have to actually go down something and you can't come back up. That's what he enjoyed. He liked the whole like aesthetic of just going down something. Mall is kind of the same thing. You're not on a downhill slope the entire time, but Mall is very much that idea. It's just better in my opinion because you're not always going straight down and you have time to take in the mall that's decaying in front of you. I really do like how it's closed in this one, and in the remake it's completely decayed. There's rotten stuff everywhere. It made it feel even more realistic than it already was, especially because the graphics, the way they made everything look. And moving on to my favorite game, you could have guessed this, it's Warehouse. This is the most iconic level in my eyes. It's the one that I always think about this game. Even in the new game, whenever they did a trailer for it, they got Tony Hawk to skate an actual warehouse that looked like this one. It's just amazing when you first start out going down those 2 ramps, you can go straight up and jump through that window to get the secret tape. It's just iconic. All the rails, all of the vert ramps, everything, half pipes, quarter pipes. It's just an all-around amazing map, and I will always play this one first, and I always come back to it to try to get a higher score than I already have. Alright, moving on to my hated maps. Definitely, number 1 is Downhill Jam. I don't understand how Tony Hawk loves this. This is his favorite level. He even made a game after it, and it did crap, obviously. Nobody likes this kind of stuff, and especially me. It's just hard as hell to control, and that's all I gotta say about it. Fuck this level. And kind of an honorable mention is San Francisco. This isn't a hated map for me. It's just I had a lot of trouble with this map when I was a kid because the controls and the way you do stuff in this game, it's just hard as hell to get skate. It's hard as hell to get the secret tape. It's just a pain in the ass all around. I know that I'm probably just a little bitch, and that's probably why I had trouble with it. But this map is just not fun in my eyes, and I definitely won't come play this one either. I know this was a brief video, and I know that it could have been way more in depth. My original script for this video was 20 minutes long, and I actually recorded it, and it just wasn't the same as I wanted it to be. I do feel like the shortened version is better. It's going to keep the people with short attention spans in place. This game does mean a lot to me. It controls like absolute shit, and I will stand by that statement. But I will say I do come back to this game to remember how great it was and remember all of the great moments that I had with it. Even when I only played single player, it was just something that stuck with me forever. People don't realize how revolutionary this game was. It totally changed many games and changed the way the PS1 grew up, pretty much. And I will say that this is one of my favorite games and one of my favorite consoles. But I do appreciate y'all checking me out, and I do appreciate y'all watching my review. If you want to see me play the entire game from start to finish with Bob Burnquist, go ahead and head over to my second channel, it's GlizmoLP. Oh, and if you want to request any game, you can go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Go ahead and follow all of my Instagram and my Twitter and everything else to get caught up with all when I post. I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch very soon. Thank you very much, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.